Well done, Ollie. Well done. P7. After that bottle. I want to call it a bottle job. Because he was the man that dragged his Prema to pole position yesterday. Well, not yesterday, but on Friday. I mean, Thursday. Was it Friday? Yeah, it was Friday. No, it was Thursday. Shit, I'm clearly not in the loop with the new. You know what? I would actually prefer races on a Saturday. But then again, that was because I wanted to be done with, and then I can go to church and praise the Lord over there. Anyway, God bless Formula 2 because clearly that series is being blessed with talent. Zane Maloney, wonderful lad. 21 years old this year, and he's gonna prove himself. He's going to blitz through the field, and there's the field ready to catch up to him. How they will catch up will depend, and clearly the one challenger I want to see is Andrea Kimi Antonelli, Italy's one and only hope for Formula 1 seat, at least for the next year. Because clearly Fornaroli does not have the guts in him yet. He's got to develop himself, maybe even get some inspiration from Andrea. Why not Andrea Antonelli? And I will tell you one thing. All I want to see now is for Kimi Antonelli to race in Mercedes next year, because clearly I want him out of Formula 2. Because that series is going to be another lottery, like Formula E. Engine lottery. I'm going to say this because new regulations, new shit going to be thrown around. And Prema, they better have the guts for Kimi to win it, or else Zane is going to run away with the title. He's clearly got the form. Now, I want to talk to you about bearman again. It's an unscripted one, so I'm just saying my thoughts. I'm just speaking my heart out. Ollie, clearly, I actually wanted him for that Formula 1 seat this year. Back when 2023 was around. I wanted Sainz to be gone. I wanted a team to buy out his contract. But Sauber chose to stick with Joe and Bottas. Zhou Guanyu and Valtteri Bottas. I hope this year is the last for both of them, because clearly they're not the team for Andrea Seidel to cope with. I want to see Theo Pourchaire and Zane Maloney. A team of rookies, yes. But is this the first time that they're gonna bring an all-new lineup for Andrea Seidel? No. Because he did it back in McLaren. He was helping Carlos Sainz and Lando Norris acclimatize to the revitalized McLaren, and they cooked. Why can't the same happen? Or, if Theo Pourchaire is impossible, just bring on Carlos Sainz for once. Come on, Andreas, show some desire, show some fire in you. And bring Carlos in with Zane Maloney. Don't shove Pourchaire out. Bring him to Haas. Because the Impul experience in Super Formula will prepare him for Haas. He will not just be a top talent. He don't think he will be a top talent in Formula 1. I'm sorry. I think Josh Revel has cursed his career. But he's got the gift of youth. He was the youngest Formula 2 race winner for a reason. So that's why I want to see him in a Haas. Maybe even become the youngest Haas driver in history. But clearly bearman's gonna take it. I think we're gonna see a lineup of Ollie Bearman and Theo Pourchaire in the Haas. Why not? But then again, Ollie will not like that because of his Ferrari experience. He clearly wants glory, and Haas, with the lack of investment from Gene, has not proven themselves to be podium contenders yet. Maybe even climb up the constructors. They've not shown themselves yet. And when it comes to development, they are lacking. They always fall off later in the season. That's why I don't want to see Ollie in a Haas. Honestly, I'd rather see him in a Ferrari because Fred Vasseur, he is a proven entity, a proven man. He was the man that started the success story called ART. And recently, Theo Porcher won the championship. Vasseur is proud of him and Martins for ART finally winning the constructors title after Nick De Vries. Is it Nick De Vries? It was either Nick De Vries or Jack Aitken. Maybe not. But then again, maybe I am wrong. But one thing I am certain is that ART have not won a constructors titles for a long time. I'm not saying, okay, let me correct myself here. Not constructors. They don't build their own car, but the team's title. They have not won it for a long time until last year. And that's because Victor picked up the form, stopped being a terrorist on the grid, and actually cooked. Well done, Victor. You've clearly earned my respect there for after winning that fraudulent Formula 3 championship. The Abu Dhabism was real. Moving on. I hope Victor can cook this year because I don't see him winning the championship. Maloney has a huge edge over him at this moment. And ART, they have to pick it up, or they're gonna even risk finishing outside the top 3 of the team's championship. I'm a teams man. I love Prema, I love ART. I love both of them because of my boy Charles Leclerc and Lewis Hamilton race for either one of those teams in their junior careers. But I want to see the rivalry, just like I want to see. This is why I love Ferrari, but I've also supported McLaren. So that's why I want that rivalry. Anyway, Ollie Bearman in Ferrari for Australia is likely because what happened to Sainz on the race day was almost borderline criminal. Disobeying the doctor's orders to come onto the God-given grid. Would God have wanted him to be on that grid? No, God would have wanted him to recover. Oh Dios. Oh Dios. Carlos, you should have stayed in the hospital bed. Why did you come to the grid? This would clearly put a setback on his recovery because he's risking himself. At least he took the risk to come. But in the case of an appendix surgery, to remove it from the body after appendicitis, which is a serious matter, it is no funny matter. And that's why Carlos is likely, in my eyes, to not race in Australia because of what he did to himself. Carlos is an opportunist. That is why he can be a good strategist. But when it comes to him being a racing driver, this can push him over the edge, and this is one of them. Imagine him in a rallying championship. This could be dangerous, Carlos. This could be dangerous. But there's always a blessing for somebody else, and this someone else was Ollie Bearman. P7 could have been a P3 in my eyes, because he clearly has a lot of potential. Ever since that Formula 3 season with that late title challenge with Maloney and both of them against the tyrant known as Victor Martins in his second season of Formula 3. You know, they both came close, yet so far. I will never forget Monza. Anyway, Ollie redeemed himself. Ollie was redeemed, rather, by winning Monza the next year in Formula 2. Was it enough for the Formula 2 title? No, because Théo Pourchaire clearly had an upper hand. Frédéric Vesti also had an upper hand, but unfortunately, Théo Pourchaire drove like a champion in Monza. Whichever kind of champion, I don't need to know. All I know is that he cooked. Now, for Victor Martins, what do I see? He's gonna finish outside of the top 4 this year, because clearly ART have fallen back in the start of these new regulations in Formula 2, the new chassis, the new cars. So clearly ART have a rebuilding. They need to brief themselves in how they can set up the car to be fast again. Because clearly Prema and Carlin, even High Tech and MP have an advantage over them. Maybe could also be the race strategy as well, but I'm just gonna put ART aside, talk about it another day. So, what's the future hold for Ollie Bearman? This is unscripted, but I'm just gonna say this. He better not go to Haas in the long term. It's only a short term gig, something like a one night stand, because honestly I'd rather see him in a Ferrari. So if he were not to race in Haas, for example, what are his options? First of all, race in the World Endurance Championship. Be better than Dorian Pin. Number 2, race in IndyCar, which is already highly unlikely in itself. Or number 3, just go to Haas and maybe race a gig in Le Mans. But, you know, honestly, I feel like a move to Haas will be okay. But who will be his teammate at Haas? Would it be Kevin Magnussen or Nico Hülkenberg? I'm going to throw a huge curveball in here. Zane Maloney. Why? Zane Maloney and Oliver Bearman. These two, they are tigers. They're like tigers in Formula 1 cars. So, this is why, even though he is in the academy of the Sauber, I would rather see him in a Haas, because clearly with the team, with the Sauber turning into Audi, the 100% acquisition confirmed by 2026, it is time to make some preparations, and my prediction for the Audi lineup will be Carlos Sainz Jr. and Nico Hülkenberg. The reunion from their time in Renault, now here, instead of Freddy Vasseur. Was it Vasseur? No, it was not Vasseur, it was Cyril Abitbou. Now, later, if they were to sign for Sauber, Andreas Seidel. The next thing, why this lineup? Because Steiner was not good with rookies, but Ayo Komatsu is a rookie team principal himself. So because he's in a similar ballpark to Bearman and Maloney, there's lots of room for these three to grow together and be competitive. Maybe all these three can grow up to be something like a Christian Horner. I don't know. But put three unknowns together, you'll get a shocking result. Now, enough of my predictions for. What about for this year? If Carlos wants to screw his body over a little bit more and risk his Formula One career or his life, I don't know. Then again, let Carlos do what he wants to do. Anyway, he's a good racing driver. He knows what to do. He knows that he can cook. So that's why Carlos to Audi is still very much a possibility. Aston Martin still are not finished with Alonso, and I don't think Fernando is finished with Aston Martin yet. But Kimi Antonelli, you better cook for Prema this year, man. Don't let Zane Maloney take the title from your hands. Alright, I feel very tired, This holiday is a bit mid. But go back to school. There's a race week in Australia coming up, which is great. So if Ollie Bearman, actually, not an if anymore, it's gonna be a when. Because once again, Carlos Sainz, that guy does not know how to take care of himself properly, bro. So, Ollie Bearman, I'm seeing you in Australia. Peace.